Hmm. That's not right. You have to do it correctly or it doesn't count. Right. She's penicillin penny. She's the queen of the Sunset Strip. Well, if she ever gives you any, you better see your doctor real quick. Yeah, it's one of those. And I have an intro over. What are the humans doing?
Oh, Sasquatch? Oh, yeah, he's like the Sandy Waxler of YouTubes.
Next time he'll get his own ketchup.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I learned a new trick. Let's see if it actually works this time, because it didn't last time. Is that the way it works? Is everybody in here now? You're blending in. Are you not in here? You're not in here. Hey, what's up, bud?
Uh,
What you doing? It's technical issues. If it wasn't for technical issues, I wouldn't have any issues.
that is entirely fair.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Squatch. How are you doing, man?
Oh, well, it's been one of those days where everything's been like 4 hours late for me. Tried to take a nap, didn't work, went to the Waffle House, drank some crack coffee, talked to a guy about a bulletproof vest and didn't buy it. So now I'm here and we're talking to you. So why don't we just kind of skip to the chase and let you tell everybody what at least you believe your channel is about? That work?
Yeah, it kind of took on a life of its own. So I started the channel initially. Well, obviously, I got on YouTube and I had the channel and all that stuff, so I could use my name and all that. And I didn't really do anything with it for about 3 years. And then I met a friend, a young lady goes by the Exiled Lioness here on YouTube. You know, she does political content. This is around late 2020 and all that. And the first thing I put up was actually not for me. It was not about starting my channel. It was sort of a backup link, a way that people could use like the comment section to stay in contact from her chat if something were to happen in the channel, which 2 years later it did. But by then I'd already started doing my own thing, and it really, I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to talk to people about anything and everything, you know, and that's how we started out. The last 6 to 8 months, it's been pretty heavily in the politisphere, you know, the global politisphere, but that's not all we're about. I mean, we'll talk about just about anything. So
Oh, cool. Um, so you're not trying to get too deeply into the whole political issue, or are you perfectly willing to jump off in there with your program, start kicking shit with everybody else?
oh, I have no issue talking politics. That isn't I just didn't want to be pigeonholed into any one subject, which as it turns out on YouTube, if you if you don't stick to one thing, it kind of throttles you a little bit.
Yeah, it
Uh
does.
that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it and I want to be able to talk about anything. That's why I start my live streams with this is where we talk about whatever the hell we feel like.
Exactly. And in your typical live stream, you have a couple of them. You do Screaming into the Void, CTV,
That's the
uh,
flagship show, yeah.
right? You do Trek. What is that? It's
We call it Star Trek Engage.
Star Trek Engaged, right? And there's a couple of others that are basically kind of a shuffling board of various creators.
Yeah, Star Trek Engage, we have a permanent cast on. You know, there's about 6 of us who just wanted to talk about Star Trek, about something that doesn't suck, that doesn't make us feel bad, you know, and make as many gay jokes as possible while doing it.
Right.
You know, and then you know, we do have.
Do we? I think I lost you there. Darn.
Yeah, I might have roboted a little bit.
Yeah, I
Am I
just
back?
disappeared. Try that again.
Okay. So we do have rotating casts on Screaming into the Void. We've had some people who've been with us for a very long time, some people who are real new. We got people who come and go. You've been on there several times yourself.
I enjoy
Um,
it.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. That one. Sometimes we get into the weeds. This last Saturdays, guys. If you want to go check out my stuff, but you don't want to have a really bad day, don't go watch this last one because it's pretty much all about the events of last Saturday. We get into some other stuff about an hour and a half into the show. The whole first hour and a half is the first 90 minutes is rough. And then I do another show with my partner Lawrence Knight on Friday nights called Abyssal Musings, which we started out kind of just wanting to talk about some pop culture stuff, but it branches out a little bit, but it's a little bit more structured.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that one seems a bit more managed. Like,
That's
I don't know.
because
I like
Larry is Larry is Army, and he's very very organized. And he likes things organized, and so and he does a lot of work to keep us on track on that show. So
it does take some effort sometimes. I've been managing a show for Captain Curmudgeon here for the past few weeks, and it's really hard not to follow the chat off onto a tangent. And he really doesn't like chaos. He writes scripts and he reads scripts. He bought a teleprompter. he does that thing. He's a perfect, flawless, not necessarily a news anchor. Meanwhile, on the other hand, you've got me. And last time I tried to have a script was 007 when he told the story about how he was involved in a car accident somewhere in like northern England.
Yeah,
Jerked a
I
tear
live in
on
the chaos,
Sasquatch.
man. Yeah, I live in the chaos. We it is what it is. Like I said to you in that comment the other day, man. In the macro sense, I'm a creature of chaos, but in the micro sense, I'm a creature of order. And most of the time, I'm just winging it somewhere in between.
Right. So I got a question. You're currently labeled as the Kin Thulu.
Yeah.
I just want to bring up that was a perfect location for the Cthulhu Kin. Ken.
Yeah.
It would have slipped so much easier through the
Yeah, it was originally it was Samuel the Kenfamous.
That's pretty good. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
no, I got a pal, 300 Mirrors on you'll find her on Twitter, and she decided that the men that she knew in the internet sphere weren't getting enough love, and she just watched the Barbie movie for like the third time, and she decided to label us all Kens depending on what our shtick was.
Yeah, I don't know if it was her. Let's see if I actually uploaded it. But somebody sent me a piece of work somebody did with me bottled and labeled as a specimen. And I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I don't have it loaded up, so we'll look for that.
You know what? I think I've got a copy of that somewhere in my archives. Yeah, that was Kohai Masochist. She's one of my mods, and she does a lot of meme work for us.
Oh yeah, I really want to be memed. Oh, I will do more stupid things if I can get more memes out of me. I've got this whole green screen behind me, and I could do the full Markiplier bit where I talk about how great this is. This is just the absolute best thing I've ever seen. Whatever it is going on behind me is the most magnificent. I can do that for hours, dude. All right, so do you have a specific goal for your channel? Do you have like is there a point in the future that you could look at it and go, okay, well, that's done?
Not particularly. As I started it out, and I maintain this to this day, although obviously like focus has shifted in terms of topics and that sort of thing since then. I really just wanted to talk to people. I did a few panels on Lioness Exiled's old channel, Exiled Lioness, and I kind of developed a taste for it. I just liked being on panels. I liked talking, and knowing there were people out there who were hearing me. It's a little narcissistic.
Yes. I've said this on many occasions, and every YouTuber I talk to who comes to YouTube with the intention of being heard or waking someone up or exposing something, in every case, they disagree. And here's what I say. You might not be a narcissist when you start YouTubing, but after the first year, you will have developed certain narcissistic tendencies that are necessary to survive in this sphere.
That's true, but if I'm being perfectly honest, I was a proud creature before YouTube.
Sure, but and this is coming from my personal experience. I have never been the type of person who in a crowd of people, if someone was going to do something, to step up and do it because I can do it better, right? Even if I knew I could do it better, if someone else volunteered, they got the job. I was that guy that stepped back with the rest of the crew.
Yeah, but not, I guess in regards to your question, I don't have like an end goal necessarily. I'm not even shooting necessarily to be monetized. Being, getting paid is not the point. It was never. I mean, if it happens, I mean, I'm a capitalist. I ain't gonna say no to money, but that's not why I'm doing this. I'm doing this because I want to do it, because I enjoy it.
Right.
You know.
Okay. So as far as I'm aware, I have yet to see a face reveal from your channel.
Yeah, there isn't one.
Is there such a thing ever going to happen in any future?
That depends on whether or not my my day job ever comes to a peaceful conclusion, and probably I would wait until my youngest child is an adult.
Right. I can
You
I
know,
tell you, I pretty much did that. My daughter turned 18 about a year after I started my channel, which was partly planned.
yeah. So no, it's some of that is to protect them from backlash if I say something that people don't like, because you know how autistic the internet gets.
Oh yes.
I mean, they'll hunt you down due to the by figuring out what kind of fucking regional paint mix
Oh,
they used in your room.
bro. I started interviewing auditors, and my fourth or fifth auditor that I interviewed had me investigated by a private investigator, a local one.
Yeah.
And the only reason I found out about it is because this is a really, really small town, and I am everybody's cousin.
Yeah.
So,
That'd do it. Some of it.
Questions, and they called me like, some dude come by asking about a Sasquatch. What are you doing over there?
Right. Now, some of it is their mother and I are not, we're in, there's custody stuff going on too. So I don't need any of this, and that crossing paths. And the other major thing is that right now I work in the public sector.
Hey man, you're not getting
And
any
there are-
smoke from me on that one. I'm not saying do it for real. I'm simply asking, is there a future where that possibility exists?
Sure, there's always a possibility. I don't see it as very likely at this time, though.
I never intended to do a face reveal. I planned on killing 3 channels before I showed this lovely mug. And it didn't happen that way because I'm really bad at it, apparently.
Well, it is what it is, I suppose. I don't know. I hadn't. I did kind of a joke face reveal late last year, where my ex-wife bought me before, like years before we got divorced. She bought me this this kind of knit hat, right? But it's a Cthulhu face mask. And so it's like got all these like knit tentacles and shit, and these big rigid eyebrows and stuff. And I have this this other hat that I wear all the time. That's actually in the avatar that you're seeing in the background there. I had Kohai put together most of that that avatar, and so what she did, she took a screenshot of that hat, not this one, but the one that's actually in the back, the old one.
I can't make
it. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, and I don't use that avatar anymore. But it's just a black beanie with the middle finger on it.
Right.
So I put that on with the face mask and some dark glasses to kind of like take my eyes out of the picture, and I did that for a buddy's stream as a joke. But honestly, that get up gets so hot so fast. I am not doing that on a regular basis.
Right. Oh baby, listen, I never intended to do a face reveal. I was planning on reading westerns. That was my whole my whole plan was just reading Westerns. And hold up. What in the world's going on over here? Why have I got an additional? How are you streaming from 2 channels simultaneously, chick? All right, we're going to talk about that after the show. Anyway, we're going to let that go. If I can. Fucking autism. Listen. So I was planning on doing reading Westerns, old out of print, like old yellow journalism kind of Westerns and fictitious tales and Sasquatch accounts and traders' stories and stuff like that, right? But I got a bad mic. And I was stuck having to scream into the microphone I had, and I didn't know it was broken. And so I didn't know how to fix it. And so when I got a real mic and I had to do all the live streams because that was all I could really do. And I get a real mic and suddenly I can do the recordings, but people would rather hear me just babble about inconsiderate bullshit. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. What's this about people breaking their plaques?
I've heard a little bit about it. I can understand the concept if you're trying to make a statement, but I've spent 3 years doing this trash. And every time I start to get a grip on something that actually starts working, YouTube changes something and puts everybody in the shitter, completely immaterial to any other change. And they change their terms of service to make it less likely for channels like ours to go anywhere. And they weight the freaking scales against anyone who brings up certain topics that might be, topical.
Yeah,
And
that's been a problem.
once you do monetize, they will immediately strike you so that they have you over the coals. And I can keep going on all night, bro. I hear tell freaking Rumble seems to be doing a bit of gangbusters over there. Have you considered going that route?
I haven't figured Rumble out. I have a Rumble. Most of my stuff gets mirrored up and put up over there automatically, except that they, for some reason, not everything does. A lot of my most recent stuff is still not showing up. And when it does happen, it takes forever and all that. But I haven't even figured out how to comment in people's live chats over there yet.
Right?
when I do it, it just shows up in the regular comment section.
So I'm not gonna lie. When I set my Rumble up, I got a phone call from somebody and they were like, "Hey, you ought to go ahead and set your Rumble up. By the time you get, halfway decent on YouTube, you ought to have enough to be able to stream over there." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I was about half a pint in at the time. And I sat down, set it all up, got it all working. Everything was fine. And I went to upload my first video and it wants me to decide between 3 options. And I have no freaking clue which one of them options is best for us. Yeah, there's the beanie. Now you can see.
The beanie's the only part of that that's like a photograph. Everything else was done by Kohai. So she does good work. She's a good chick. Glad to have her on board.
I like any kind of participation in the whole support realm. And I got a thing that I'm supposed to do at this point. And damn, it's not gonna work right. I just found a flaw in my whole plan here. Well, then we're gonna do it this way. And I say, screw it.
No plans surrounds contact with the algorithm.
No, dude, like the algorithm is kind of a joke. I use it when I don't want to say the real words that come to mind. All right, I went and dug up the very first upload you have on your channel.
You know about cars?
Yes, I'm a paleontologist.
Oh, it's okay. There's dynamite in this bag too. I am a paleontologist.
I'm a paleontologist.
Paleontologists study really old stuff.
Like crackers.
Because bad movies are funny.
And the whole purpose of this madness, see, that was supposed to actually be up on the screen in all the right places and doing it correctly. And now I've screwed the pooch quite well. Anyway, so you did an introduction on your channel as your first upload, but it's not an introduction for your channel.
No, not at all. That's not the purpose of it. I did do another one later that is, this is archived in its own playlist, but yeah, this was the first upload.
That's kind of
And it's
hilarious.
awkward. Yeah, and it's awkward as shit, and it's just a black screen with a voiceover.
Yeah, no, we're totally fixing to listen to the whole thing. It's not long. And I do this on purpose. It makes people uncomfortable, and I fucking love it.
All right. So this is Samuel the Infamous, and we are just getting started. The purpose of this short introduction is not really an introduction to my channel at all. I mean, there will be stuff later, but we're not there yet. The purpose of this is to leave the comments section open as a kind of communications forum, specifically for the Pride. If you are in the Pride, you know what I'm talking about, and if you're not, I mean, stick around. Maybe you'll find something you like. We'll be pinning a comment to link the channel that the Pride comes from, to refer people back to that if they so choose. The channel's name is the Exiled Lioness, belongs to a friend of mine, and she's.
Let's correct that right now.
Yeah, well, it was the Exiled Lioness at the time.
Yeah, I know. It's the Lioness Exiled now, for anybody interested in such things.
Different channel. First one's gone. YouTube nuked this.
Nuked from orbit, as I understand.
Yeah.
Let's see what this one brings up. It should be that one, and then we should be into this one. Right. So, for the most part, is this the one I was on? Hold on.
Nope, this is a recent clip that I uploaded last Saturday.
All right, just checking. Thought I recognized something like the green-haired one. And reminding everyone in chat that in the animal kingdom, bright plumage is a warning of danger. That is all.
She's dangerous, all right. She's a fucking Marine.
Right? Listen, man. Listen. I had an experience with a Marine once. She was all of like 5'6", 5'4" or something. She was not a big woman, but she was built like a piece of freaking wood, man. Like she was like a toy that could just bend you into little bitty pretzels and leave you crying on the ground. And for a solid 45-minute period, she repeatedly beat me unmercifully. I had 6 inches on her and probably 50 pounds on her. And not only did it not matter, it didn't do me the least bit of good. Yeah. That woman went through different throws, different locks, different tosses, different she used strikes, she used ground pound techniques. Like that woman beat me every possible way you could possibly be beaten, and I enjoyed the ever loving hell out of it. And it might say a lot about me, but I don't care. It was fun.
Yeah, Gal there, green-haired anti-liberal, we call her Gal for short. She's not much bigger than that.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't appear to be your usual green-haired behemoth. And talking
no.
She's rational.
She's one of those people who's kind of pissed about the whole brightly colored hair being co-opted into something stupid for the last 10 years, because she just likes color, specifically green, and she feels like that was taken from her, so she's rocking the green hair anyway.
Groovy. I actually dig colored hair, but it is a baseline warning. It's like seeing somebody riding along in a mask and alone in their car. There's no point in having a conversation with that person.
It used to just be hot, and now it's like, hey, big neon warning sign: don't go near this woman if you value your balls.
It is a possible warning sign. I have met rational blue-haired women. I have met 2 rational pink-haired women, 1 rational green-haired woman. Purple and Danger Red seem to still be in the safe zone of staying the fuck away from.
Mhm.
Just avoid Danger Red. Danger Red is just no.
Yeah, no, gal's cool. She does cosplays. She's pretty level headed, and she's a veteran.
She dealt with me well.
Mhm.
So I mean that says a lot in my book. The fact that I didn't end up under her skin and get no hate mail from it. So it's the specimen. There he is. That's the one I'm really after. I'm seducing Sam into my corner to convince him to submit to my will. Wait, that sounded far too honest. Yes.
It makes him so uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I can see him crawling over there. I do so little of it that it really unnerves him. If I was just doing it all the time, it wouldn't be so bad. But it's the fact that I only drop that trash when he's not paying attention to it.
Look, it's not that you're coming on to him that bothers him, because people say jacked up stuff to Ryan there all the time. What bothers him is that A, you sound sincere, and B, it's more romantic than it is just gay.
I don't even want to have sex with him. I just want to cuddle. I'm just saying, dude. So you've achieved what have you got? What are you working on? Like was it 222 subscribers? Is that where it's at?
Yeah, we hit 222 earlier this week. Actually, I think it was on Monday.
That was groovy. I saw that.
Yep, pretty happy about that. What's funny about this whole thing is, like, so you remember a couple months ago, YouTube changed their whole watch hours deal.
Right.
So you can get partial monetization, but not AdSense at 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours now.
Trust me, bro. I just hit 1 million views, 3,000 subscribers, 3,000 watch hours, qualified for monetization, and got a strike and demonetized all in the same week.
Yeah, that'll happen. What's funny is like, I don't have that many subscribers by YouTube standards. It's a pretty small account. Part of me kind of likes it that way because it makes it easier to include them in a conversation. I see bigger channels and they got chats flying by. You don't know what's being said. And so I do like to include my chat in the conversation. But what's funny about that whole thing is that even though I don't have that many subscribers, I do 2-3 hour live streams, at least 3 every friggin' week. They're watching all of it.
Right. Now,
because I have right now I'm only a little bit over. I'm like 208 hours away from 4,000 watch hours.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've been looking at this whole terms of service thing, and there seems to be a little bit of a change right there at that first tier of monetization. Mm-hmm. Like, I discovered that things that I was doing that, according to the YouTube back end, is completely fair game, is not monetizable by a monetized channel. And I'm like, how am I supposed to work in YouTube Studio if it lies to me?
Well, that's a good question. And honestly, their duplicitousness is one of the reasons I'm not really in a hurry to get monetized.
And I'll tell you another thing, whether or not you accept the monetization thing, even if you never respond to them, the second you qualify for monetization, you suddenly are held to the monetization standards because they're going to be putting ads on your videos, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not looking forward to that, but is what it is, I guess. And I'm sure they're going to want me to go back through and cut a bunch of stuff out because I've got some copyright claims that I really should probably deal with.
Blocked,
Yeah. They're like, oh, no impact now, but should you get monetized, we're gonna fuck you over real hard.
Real hard. Yes, sir. I was doing some backstage talking with Captain Curmudgeon one afternoon, and we had been discussing different attacks for access to new YouTube subscribers and stuff, and I suggested that he do parody songs, and he's like, I might do one. I said, I'll make you do it. You do one, I'll do one. And a couple of weeks went by. He agreed at the time, and then nothing happened, and so I did the Mississippi Squirrel Revival as Alex Jones.
I love that video.
It's pretty good. It's pretty bad too. So he saw that and he was like, I guess he remembered it. So a couple of days later, he didn't upload one. He uploaded like one a day for a week. He uploaded a whole bunch of like parody songs he had done in the past week or whatever. And one of them suckers went like 200,000 views, bro. It's still climbing. And he's over here like he's been doing this really serious news program every freaking like 3 or 4 days, like once a week for 3 years. 96 subscribers. Does one song. 1,500 overnight, just about it.
Yeah. Well, the trouble with that is like how many of them are going to stick around if they come for the parody and they find that the content's not what they expected.
Right. And that was something I discussed with him when I suggested doing shorts. I was like, something you have to understand when you do shorts. You can get a lot of views and you can get a lot of attention and you can pick up subscribers pretty quick using them. If you've got a deranged bent, it's much easier. On the other hand, none of these people are going to come to your live stream.
Mm-hmm.
None of them. They're not going to watch your videos. They're not going to watch anything but your shorts. So once you start putting up shorts, you're kind of stuck doing it to an extent. But right now, that's what YouTube is pushing, is shorts. When it comes to long form content, a single long form subscriber, like an actual live stream viewer, is worth 10 or 20 short subscribers, maybe 100. Because they don't watch anything you'll ever be able to monetize.
Right.
The live stream watcher does.
It works the other way around too. Like most of my live stream watchers who watch the live streams beginning to end, who catch them live when they can, they don't watch the short clips that I put out. Usually those are pushed out to like random people. You know?
And it's weird, man. Like one of the issues I have is people will catch a short and they might decide, what's up, Izzy? And they might decide to come by and take a gander at the, this is the other channel I said had numbers like yours and a similar stance of numbers. Izzy, she has a channel that has buku watch time, buku attendance, buku interaction, and almost no subscribers to speak of. She's toting around like 1,200, 1,500 subscribers. And she's probably bringing down 20 or 30 people, concurrent viewers on the regular in her live streams, like every day.
Yeah, I believe I'm sub to her actually.
Yeah, she's funny. I don't know how to explain the humor. You kind of have, it's all a bunch of inside jokes, so you kind of have to stick around through a couple of live streams for it to start sinking in and getting funny. But I kind of backdoored into Izzy's channel through no, it's the other way around. I can't remember which way it went. I either backdoored into Izzy's channel with Scully's House of Thrillers, or the other way around. It was one way or the other. I don't remember. Which, yeah, if you're interested in doing since you don't do a face thing, voice work might not be outside of your purview. He does live performance things.
No, I've caught a couple of episodes, mainly because you had said you were going to be there. I think first thing I did was that reading that you guys did of the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was very cool. It was very enjoyable.
In the middle of that, while we were doing it live, the bit where homie drops the axe, I can't remember who it was that their mic fell off the stand at the perfect moment. It didn't even break nothing up. Like we went right through that like it didn't even happen. It was beautiful, brother. Appreciate
Sometimes
you.
it works out.
Sometimes it do work out. You know. We also did Shawshank Redemption, which was really cool. And I met a guy, was it Burnt Flowers? I think is his name. He's got more voices than I do.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, he's cool, dude. Him and his wife are both real cool. I have no idea what they do on YouTube though. Somehow every time I subscribe, I get unsubscribed, and I don't know why. Happened to you a few times.
Yeah, that's happened. I've been seeing that kind of thing happen all over YouTube. I mean, they do every 2 weeks. They do a purge of quote unquote dead subscribers across the board anyway, and they'll remove people who have been watching and participating and all that stuff, like they're bots or some shit. It's annoying.
I call it the 3 a.m. purge. It happens at 3 a.m. on the East Coast. I'm not sure when it happens to everybody else, but
yeah, it's about 1 a.m. where I'm at. That sounds about right.
Great. I'm gonna let this play in the background. This is this is a libs of TikTok thing. And I'm gonna skip the whole playing of it because it's got music in it. We'll go back, start from the beginning if you want. What's up, Flow State? When we go to After Dark, if you're gonna stick around for that, that's up to you.
Sure.
All right. So when you're doing your Star Trek Engaged, do you catch a whole lot of copyrights coming off of that?
Oh, we get blocked about 20 minutes after the stream ends every week.
Okay. Have you considered using still frames instead of clips?
We have considered a few different things. We've even tried a few different things. Paramount Plus, Paramount Universe or Studios or whatever, are outside of Asia one of the most stringent about their copyrights, and they've got bots all over YouTube, so there's no getting around that.
That's true, but
I mean,
there are variations on a theme, so to speak. Part of your
Sure.
issue is you won't have a face on your screen. That's one of the problems. When they're looking for fair use, they're looking for a face that is actively moving and talking and doing stuff.
Oh no,
So-
that's absolutely true. However, with I think a couple of exceptions, I've won every dispute so far.
Right. No, I mean, you're obviously well within the free use spectrum. The only thing I can see that you could do at all better is shorten clips a little bit, which I get the impression that you're using a capture card to capture it from elsewhere, and you're just kind of pausing and fast forwarding through it to pop it up. I'm not sure. I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
Something like that. Yeah.
Close enough for government work. We're not going to argue about it. We're not revealing secrets tonight. If you can figure out how to do a screenshot of that trash and bring up the pertinent screenshots as a slideshow, or for that matter, StreamYards allows a slideshow. You just got to figure out how that's supposed to work. I used it yet.
Yeah, that's something that we will probably look more deeply into once we get to the original cast movies, which we're also going to be doing.
I want to do that.
Yeah, we're going through the whole thing. Like, initially, it started out as so Specimen Ryan hadn't seen any of this stuff. So when we got done reviewing season 3 of Picard, which was how this started out, it's just me, him, and a guy named Horny Alf just talking about this season 3 of Picard, which actually is pretty good. The rest of it's garbage, but that third season's pretty damn good. We got to the end of that, and we're just like, I kind of want to keep doing this. Why don't we go back to the beginning? And Ryan's like, well, I haven't seen most of this stuff, so we sort of started this as a way for him to be able to watch it with friends, weekly, and also just because we're all fans of Star Trek. It's something that we grew up on, or we have fond memories of, or got us through a tough time or some shit like that. And it gives us an excuse to get together once a week and have fun and not worry about, the other things that we got to worry about in life. It's an escape for the cast as well, for the panelists as well as the chat. So, and it's we get pretty risque with some of the jokes and some of the things that are said, but it's it's an escape. It's a good time. It's a lot of fun. So we decided to go all the way back to the beginning. Right now we're coming up on episode 11 of the original series, and we're going to go all the way through TNG, DS9, Voyager, and most likely Enterprise, and hitting the movies at where they fall in the timeline.
Where's the nukes? And, I mean, I'd prefer an asteroid, but whatever works.
I mean, there are days, man, when I'm sitting here and I'm like, why hasn't that extinction level event happened yet?
Maybe we're it. Any consideration for a presidential run? 2024, No Lives Matter?
I mean, yeah, I announced I was running like months ago. Nobody wants to vote for a squid, but my name's in the hat.
Since Squid Games, I think you got a chance. You just have to. I mean, Americans are stupid, dude. They elected Donald Trump without really any other consideration. They were like, the Simpsons were right.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, when they find out that I'm only trying to get them to line up to make them, more easy to devour, they're going to probably have an issue with that. But it'll be too late by then, so we'll worry about that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, I don't care. You can get all the humans you want. There are plenty of them. That's for freaking sure. May I suggest something, and of the Asian persuasion? I'm just start over there, maybe.
Hungry and arrogant later.
Yeah, obviously. You can go down and get you a little bit of some kimchi. Maybe some people to Sala.
Not kimchi. No. Oh, I freaking hate kimchi.
I'm not a real big fan of pretty much anything curry related. Oh, dude, I had to do this work in a house one time, and it was like I was requested. Like they were like, send that guy. We want him to do this work. And I told him no. I was like, I don't like the way their house smells. I don't want to go back in there. These are like, there's nothing wrong with these people. You understand? Their house is absolutely immaculate. It's a new build, new construction. They just want some cabinets put in, and they want someone they can trust. But they are always cooking curry, and that stuff makes my eyes burn. And so I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. And they doubled, and then they doubled it again. And I was like, you know what? He paid me enough. I'll go in there and freaking pepper spray. It'll be fine. I realized that I was a highly capitalistic creature when they kept putting zeros on the end of that check. I was like, oh, I didn't know I was so cheap. Like, it lets you know your self-worth pretty freaking quick when you get straight up purchased.
Right.
You can't deny it after that. You're like, okay, so I'm a capitalist. I did, however, develop a new credo after that. It is the most American thing on earth to sell out. Just don't do it cheap.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Make sure it's worth it.
Absolutely. You got to make sure not only is it worth it now, that it'll be worth it in 5 years. When you look back and go, damn, I probably should have sold out for that.
Yeah. Sandwich wasn't that good.
Right. I once offered a truck for a dry ham sandwich. I was so mad at that thing. I'm dead serious. If somebody had showed up with a dry ham sandwich that day, I'd have given them guys the keys and the title and the number to my tow truck driver to go get the damn thing and take it away. Oh, bother. What has happened? Oh, right. No, I doubt it may not load that one at all. Mainly because YouTube, after this got uploaded, YouTube changed the terms of service to an extent, and apparently StreamYard knows it. Like, for instance, did you know that if you bring up something like a YouTube movie to watch in StreamYard in private and you try to play it in StreamYard, the movie won't play?
I did not know that.
You might get the sound, you might get occasional frames from the movie, but you're not going to be able to watch the movie in StreamYard.
Yeah, no, I
Hard way.
I did not know that. I don't go through YouTube though for that, so that's probably why I didn't know it.
That's for everybody at home, folks. If you're planning on doing anything even remotely like any of this, go and get you a capture card right out the gate. Don't even mess around with nothing else. Just skip to the front of the line.
Yep. So, but that's I mean, like I said, we have some issues on Sundays with that, but honestly, it's nothing that we're super worried about. I mean, you know, we dispute it. It's back up after 48 hours. You know, we're getting more views after the fact anyway.
Well, I mean, you still miss the sweet spot on the algorithmic viewing.
You do. Yeah, you do.
But that's why they hit you the way they do.
Well, it's arbitrary sometimes too. Sometimes they'll hit one channel and not another. We simulcast to 3 YouTube channels, 2 Twitter pages, and a Facebook page, and I think we're doing it to a Twitch page now too.
That's cool. I'd like to get a little some of that.
Yeah.
Figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah, and it's just like the only reason we're not doing it to Rumble is because they've got that ridiculous setup where you have to get a temporary key, and you got to upload like a temporary video and stuff to sort of, I guess, save its place or whatever. And I don't know, that whole process is confusing. The others we can just like tie it in and click a button, and it's ready to go.
That's part of, because when you go into that and you upload that video, right, and you spend the 30 minutes rendering it up there, whatever it is you're uploading.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then
interesting to note
option. They're like, do you want us to take full monetization? Do you want to have monetization, or do you want to share monetization? I'm like, I just want to upload a fucking video. I don't know.
Interesting to note, probably the easiest time we've had with setting up is with Twitter. Actually, not only is it easy as hell to set that up with StreamYards, but it also it doesn't get hit over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to change my channel name, Beta.
Not necessarily. I don't know. We'll talk about that.
I was thinking about going something a little bit more deviant, like Teflon Sasquatch, or I don't know. I really like Caucasian Sasquatch. It really explains how little of my channel can be taken seriously.
Yeah, it's a good name. It's a good brand. I don't know. But my Twitter handle is not Samuel the Infamous. I mean, that's
I'm aware.
like the name that they have there. So, did I ever tell you what happened with that? Why the channel name is not Hentai Surprise? Because it used to be.
Yeah. No, you never did tell me.
All right. So when I first started getting involved with Amira over on her channel and all that, and she's a very conservative Muslim woman, and she at the time was working for a channel in the in Black YouTube, basically called the Lapif Network, where she would go and have conversations over there and stuff like that. And they approached her after seeing my name in super chats and comments and once or twice up on screen about how they couldn't be associated with somebody who called themselves hentai anything. Yeah. And she didn't at that point know what hentai meant.
She's
which
such
is
a
part of the
child.
Yeah, it was part of the reason that I did that, and she knows this now, and she laughs about it now. She's kind of pissed when she found out, but I really, really liked the idea of like sending her super chats with that name, and she would just shorten it to hentai instead of Hentai Surprise. And I'm just like, this sweet Muslim girl is just saying something. She has no idea how dirty that is. But but anyway, so she sends me this lengthy email basically detailing that she was getting pressure from those guys and being conservative, and now she understands what the word means, that this was a bit of a problem for her to be associating with. And so because she was my friend, I changed it to Samuel the Infamous. And as far as I was concerned, that other network could go fuck themselves. But because she was my friend and she asked me to do that for her, I changed it for her. However, it was after I set up the Twitter and my professional email, so those are still anti-surprise because
I noticed that. But let me tell you how I noticed it, because this was funny to me. I got the email. I responded because I knew who it was at the time somehow, and I didn't notice the name of the email for whatever freaking reason. I just kind of, autism right over the top of it. It wasn't until later when I went back to email you again that I had to remember, wait a second. Well, I remember it wasn't Samuel. What was it? And I was scrolling down and I saw anti-surprise and I went, oh, there it is. That's obviously it.
Yeah. It was a good name. Part of me is kind of sad that I don't use that anymore, but as the channel name. But on the other hand, Samuel is the brand now, so I guess this is what we're sticking with.
Right.
And as far as the infamous part of that goes, I got that from Amira too, actually, because before I changed the name, she had referred to me as on a live stream as the infamous anti-surprise. And I'm just like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to keep that then.
Right. I kind of wish, and keep in mind that I come from a history of trolling. I was a terrible person once upon a midnight dreary back when I was on every drug known to man. I would do horrendous things to people because I found it humorous. I don't do these things anymore, no matter what you think. And so when I come across these people that are doing these types of things, and it warms the cockles of my soul to know that there are people interested enough in YouTube to absolutely spur out on every little thing that takes place. You can accidentally mispronounce a word and trigger a whole fleet of people. It's awesome.
Yep.
You know what you did?
What did I do?
You did a show.
I did.
Whole thing. Yep. It ain't even hurt, did it?
No, not even a little bit.
This guy gets drugged to drugged to jail while crying for his mama. We're gonna listen to it in a minute. But before we do that, you got a few channels that you support. You want to tell everybody what day is before we cut out and go to the after dark part where we bring other folks up and everything goes a little bit ham?
Well, obviously there's my channel. We do the live streams throughout the week, and that's throughout the weekend rather. I've got a day job, so the week is difficult. That's why we're on so late now. My buddy Legion Talk, or Specimen as Sasquatch calls him. He does a lot of stuff. A lot of it's very pop culture oriented with him. He's also somebody who hangs out with me over on the Engaged show. I would highly recommend go and check out Beelzehub. My buddy Devil made me do its channel. That's a lot of fun. He's a good guy, and honestly, I think he could use a boost a hell of a lot more than I can. Good dude. Go check him out. He does this thing called Get Ranked every Sunday, where he picks a topic and then he invites panelists on who basically argue over which ranking order things are in. And I was on this last Sunday, and it was Sylvester Stallone movies.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a fun show. It's on Sundays.
You know what I've been waiting to have happen, and I haven't seen it happen yet. Have you seen Men in Black 3?
Yeah, I think so.
The one with the Beast.
It's the one with it's Tim Curry, isn't it? Goes back in time.
There's some back in timeness that happens, and there's this dude who vaguely resembles me that is the arch nemesis in the movie.
Yeah, that's Tim Curry.
That cannot possibly be Tim Curry. There's no
It's
way
Tim
in hell
Curry.
that dude is Tim
He's
Curry.
wearing,
I don't
he's
believe
wearing
you.
a fuckload of prosthetics, but it's Tim
He
Curry.
better be. Oh my God. Is that Tim Curry?
It's one of the last things he did on camera before he got real sick. Yeah.
Oh my
They
God.
beefed him up to make him look like Macho Man Randy Savage, but yeah, that's him.
They did a good job. They did I bet he was wearing a Randy. Oh yeah, let me tell you the best way to go about doing Macho Man Randy Savage's voice, brother.
So,
all right.
Yeah, and the other thing, I guess, Lioness Exiled, I moderate for her, I produce for her. You know, sometimes she makes me like go up on the panel and talk to people for her. Yeah, it's a good time. It's very politically oriented though. So again, if that's not your bag, maybe, you know.
It's an odd orientation. It is specifically sort of culture war generated, but from a very odd quarter.
Yeah.
Her channel was partly responsible for me finding your channel. It was largely Carrie. I mean, and I can understand why you wouldn't trust me having come from Carrie's chat. It makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, well, I don't. Just maybe let him. Just don't block him yet. But I understand. And if you haven't checked out Mandatory Carrie's channel, I don't know what he's currently called. Oh, yeah, he's changed his name back to something wacky again. Can you say that word? Data's Law Act, Mandatory Carry. It's the Volstead Act spelled backwards. That's a Georgia law where everybody's required to possess a firearm in order to wander the streets of a Georgia town.
Yeah, I just say dates love.
Yes,
he hates that.
Yeah, it's love. I say it Russian. Yeah, it's love. With a southern accent, if you can buy that. Anyway. Yeah, let me do my talk out, and then I'll do my thing and my stuff. And we'll do all that. We'll be right back in just a few minutes, bud. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Much love.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Anytime. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the show, but not the end of the hour. We are going to go into some rather nefarious things that take place on police forces in the After Dark. I'm not sure I ever went and actually updated what this whole show was supposed to be about, so you might not be able to find the links in the description. I'll try to do it correctly whenever we get off of live. But until then, I appreciate each and every one of you like a brother and a sister. But if y'all give me any trouble tonight, I will run every dead blame one of y'all off this mountain.
3, 2, 1.
That I would like validation for my gender identity. There's some pictures of me. My pronouns are it and they. My gender is none. I enjoy dressing in a more feminine, I guess, way, but I don't want to be associated with gender. I enjoy looking like a clown. I kind of view myself as a doll. I don't abide by gender. I'm fucking built different.
And I got one over here going, well, how are you? You can't make us do something we're not willing to do. No, I won't do it. My friends will. You know, the people who are with me, they will work you over for a good 4 hours. When it's said and done, you're in boot camp. Congratulations. You are now a member of the political party.
That's what she said. I mean, that's what said. That's what they said. I'm a whole ass vibe. Like, no.
This is a conversation I've been wanting to have with you for a minute. We're fixing to do this shit, whether you like it or not. I am personally against the concept of self-identity.
The only caveat to that would be if you want to look and be a certain way and you get downloaded into the proper sleeve for that, it's not going to be cheap. There's a core aspect of his training here that's very important though too. It's like normally it would take somebody who got re-uploaded into a new body, right, would take 6 hours just to learn how to fucking walk again. This guy's up and ready to go, combat ready in 6 minutes.